How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Spider, and in this video we're going to be breaking down the team that I drafted for Season 3 of the Nbbl in the Academy Division, which is the Wi-Fi division. Now this draft ended like at least 3 weeks ago because everyone wanted to just start drafting immediately, even though the previous season of the Showdown division hadn't even finished. So you know, it's been a long time coming for this video and for this league in general. So as far as this league, pretty standard rules, except you do get 120 points to draft 9 through 11 Pokemon, which is pretty cool. I'm usually in the 110 to 115 range. For the Terastallation rules, you have 18 points total to have 2 or 3 Terra Captains. Most Pokemon 12 points and below can be Terra Captains, so there's no Terra Attack. So the Pokemon you draft, however much it says on the draft board, that's how much you're paying for it, regardless of if it's a Terra Captain or not. There are obviously some bans like Araquanid, Satitan, Chandelure, Torterra, Regieleki, those kinds of things. So as far as the draft board, there were some interesting things, and you know, I took a look at it beforehand, before drafting and all that. But there was one thing that stood out, and I'm kind of going to get to it. But basically, I think it was Nova. I told him exactly what I was going to draft if I ended up getting first, and he was randomizing the draft live in Discord. So he streamed the little wheel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's what John Jr. did for the JJDL. You basically have a wheel with all the names, and you spin it, and whoever it lands on first, that name gets eliminated, and they get 16th overall. So whoever it lands on last, you know, after spinning it 15 times, whoever it doesn't land on gets first overall. Speak of the devil, I got first overall. I was there. I told them exactly what I was going to draft if I got first. We ended up getting Chien-pao, aka Katana. You don't see this Pokemon a lot in Draft League because it's usually banned. Because if you don't know, Chien-pao is incredibly good in Draft League format, because there are very few things. If you have a draft of, you know, 10, 11 Pokemon, there are very few things that really want to switch into a Chien-pao. With its base 120 attack stats, along with being a Dark and Ice type, and the Sword of Ruin being the ability, it just hits things incredibly hard. I do get a base 135 speed stat as well, which is just very fast. In a lot of matchups, I can just run Adamant and just still outspeed my opponent's entire team. The good thing about Chien-pao is that it's got decent bulk. I'm not saying it's going to take a lot of hits, but I do have something else on my team that can kind of help it a little bit, and I'll get into that. It's better than Weavile. I mean, obviously, this is like a better Weavile, which is awesome. I do also get Sucker Punch with this. We get Sacred Sword, which is great, because if things try to set up Iron defenses on me, it's not going to matter because of Sacred Sword. Psychic Fangs is great for bulky fighting types, as well as to break screens. I can go for like a Taunt Ruination if I really need to break through a certain Pokemon that's annoying me. So yeah, that's Chien-pao. There's really not much else to say. It sets up Sword Stances and it goes crazy, or it just hits you really hard with like a Choice Banded whatever it needs to do. So I had the wheel, which means, you know, obviously I was first overall, so then I got 2 in a row next time the draft came to me. I'm not gonna lie, it took like 4 days to get back to me, guys. This was a really slow draft, and that was fine because we started drafting super early. We didn't even have to draft until like last week if we really needed to. So first Pokemon I got on that wheel was Galarian Slowking. Like I said, I wanted something to kind of facilitate Chien-pao as well as my other offense. Because this Pokemon gets Chilly Reception, it can put up the snow and get out, which will give Chien-pao a defensive boost because it's an Ice type, which is really cool. Regenerator is probably the perfect ability. If you had to pick an ability to give this Pokemon, it would probably be a Regenerator, because it's pivoting out so much. It does get Slack Off, but you don't really need to use it a lot. It's healing itself so much through Regenerator anyway. And that's great because this Pokemon wants to use a lot of different moves that aren't Slack Off. Mainly Thunder Wave, Toxic Spikes, Ice Beam, Power Gem, Nasty Plot even, Calm Mind, Iron Defense, Earthquake, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Future Sight. There's so many moves that this Pokemon can use. It doesn't want to be bogged down by using a healing move, which most Pokemon have to because they don't get Regenerator. Yeah, Slowking, really cool, really annoying to deal with if you're going up against it. I see the Pokemon coming to almost all of my games. On the second part of the wheel, I got Meep, the Galarian Zapdos. If you don't get that reference, I don't know what to tell you. This is just another kind of strong offensive Pokemon, and you know, with that base 100 speed stat, It's nice. It's a nice little benchmark to kind of solidify the team. Base 125 attack stat is good, but also its dual stab in close combat and Brave Bird is seldom resisted by a single Pokemon. Getting knockoff is also really cool. It can knock off items. It can taunt things as well. I can also click bulk up. I can click agility. I can click counter for whatever reason. I probably won't be doing that, but really it's just the dual stab and the U-turn option. Hitting things hard. Again, it's just if I can pivot into this Pokemon to deal with some things that want to deal with chien-pao really well. Zapdos is that thing, like bulky dark types, for example, if I don't have Sacred Sword, because dark types are also really good against Slowking. Also, its signature move, Thunderous Kick, I feel like it goes under the radar a lot, but it's really good for breaking things that like to switch into you. So like a Thunderous Kick, if you don't know, 90 base power, fighting type, physical move, it'll always lower your opponent's defense by 1, which is awesome because, again, if they can take 2 close combats and just roost or recover or whatever, that's different than Thunderous Kick. If I just keep spamming Thunderous Kick, you're going to have to switch eventually. Lastly, Defiant as its ability is really good. Again, if you want to pick an ability besides like huge power or something, Defiant is just great for this because, again, intimidate Pokemon don't want to switch into me. You could get like a random Shadow Ball special defense drop that all of a sudden doubles your attack, which is great. So those little things just kind of increase its threat level. For our next wheel, on the first half of it, we drafted Ursaluna, Totality the Ursaluna. This is just a really cool Pokemon, I think, and I've never been able to use it seriously, but like what wants to switch into this? I mean, Corviknight, sure. I'll give you Skarmory too. Dude, Facades go crazy with this. If you get Guts boosted Flame Orb, it's just insane. Also, this Pokemon gets phenomenal coverage. You know, really whatever you want. You get close combat to hit things. You get Gunk Shot for fairies. You get Heavy Slam also for fairies. You get Ice Punch for certain, niche situations, maybe a Landorus. Play Rough, really cool. Seed Bomb. Trailblaze to boost my speed in certain matchups could help me actually sweep. But for the most part, this is going to be a 1-for-1 Pokemon. I'm going to come in, I'm going to destroy something, and I'm probably just not going to be able to do much else. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to enjoy having it on my side because I know from firsthand, again, it's difficult to prep for because there's just so many things that can switch into a Facade, right? Also, it gets Swords Dance for some reason. So if you're really a madman and you want to click Swords Dance on a Switch, yeah, nothing's taking barely one Facade. On the other side of the wheel, I ended up getting Blastoise, just another bulky pivot. I think Blastoise is phenomenal. I'm going to be honest. It's a rapid spinner, which is great. I can get rid of hazards. And it's got decent bulk. Base 79 HP isn't the best for a bulky Pokemon, but it makes up for that in base 100 defense and 105 special defense. Gets flip turn, so momentum move. Like I said, rapid spin. I can yawn to kind of stop things from setting up on me because I am pretty passive at times. Even though I do get good coverage, it's often going to be a rapid spinner and a flip turner. So if I'm doing rapid spin flip turn, it's going to be difficult to stop things from setting up on me, which is why yawn is so important. But I do get things like Ice Beam, Earthquake, Dragon Pulse, Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Flash Cannon, that kind of thing. Now this is one of my Terra captains. I probably should have put this on the layout, but his Terra types are going to be Water, Electric, and Poison. Electric because I want to be able to beat bulky Water types. As you can see, bulky Water types can give this team a little bit of an issue. Obviously, Shell Smash is a thing, so that's something my opponent has to think about. Last Terra type is going to be Poison. Because if for whatever reason I don't bring Galarian Slowking, I want something like a grounded poison to soak up those toxic spikes. And also, I want to be able to beat fairies a little bit better. Again, for like, what was this Pokemon? 9 points? Something crazy like that? Yeah, 10 points. Okay, 10 points for what Blastoise offers is great. I'm going to be using Blastoise probably a lot more than maybe some people expect. So as the draft came around and back to me, I realized, well, I kind of knew already, but my team is pretty physical if you look at it. Blastoise could run physical if I really wanted. Ursaluna, Zapdos, chien-pao, all very physical Pokemon. They're never going to be special attackers. Slowking is going to be a special attacker, but it's not the strongest. It's usually just going to be a bulky Pokemon. Eventually, you look at it, base 97 special attack is not great. But when you factor in the fact that it's using Thunder and not Thunderbolt because of Compound Eyes, that really helps it, to be honest. That does really help it. It has a 30% chance to paralyze. Thunderbolt only has a 10% chance. So I feel like it. I've wanted to use Galvantula for a while because again, Sticky Webs. Okay, we haven't even brought up Sticky Webs. Sticky Webs for this team is great. if you look at it, it doesn't really help Ursaluna because Ursaluna is slow. It really only helps Zapdos because chien-pao is already faster, but if I really want to run Adam and chien-pao, the sticky webs could be very important to have there. And again, it's just something that my opponent is always going to have to prep for because you don't want to lose the sticky webs. You don't want to be slowed down. I do get coverage for ground types, Energy Ball and Giga Drain, so that's cool. Obviously, I get Bug Buzz, but other than that, you know, it's a pretty fast Pokemon, base 108. That's nice. I want a Galvantula. It's a fun Pokemon. We'll see how it goes. Next up is Orleans, the Chandelure. Like I said, needed a special wall breaker. This is just that. Base 145 special attack stat is huge. Ghost and Fire dual stab offensively. That's great. Dark types and normal types will give me trouble, which is why I already have Galarian Zapdos. If you have a Ghost and a Fighting type separate, they're gonna deal with each other's weaknesses very well. Like I said, I just need special presence on this team. Otherwise, everyone's just gonna bring physical walls and beat me that way. Base 80 speed is decent. It's not the best, but it's not like an Ursaluna where I can run a Choice Scarf set viably. I can also run Flame Charge or Trailblaze. It gets both of those, which is cool. And, you know, Energy Ball is great because it deals with ground, water, and rock types. Will-O-Wisp is really cool just in case, you know, I need to hit cripple a physical attacker. Memento could be a nice little fourth slot on like a Choice Scarf set to try to help facilitate certain things with Zapdos or chien-pao. As far as its abilities, it does get 3 Flash Fire, Flame Body, Infiltrator. I will most likely be using Flash Fire when I bring this Pokemon. Not every time probably, but you know, because on the off chance there's like a lot of U-turners and flip turners and things like that. I want to try to burn those Pokemon with Flame Body. Flash Fire is going to be the tried and true because it gives me a fire immunity and it allows me to, it boosts my fire type attacks, which is awesome. So on the next wheel, I ended up getting Golden Gate, the Archaludon. I needed a steel type at this point, as you can see. I don't really need a dragon type. I feel like dragon it's nice to have, but it's not necessary as much as steel or fairy or water, stuff like that. Or dark. I've wanted to use Archaludon ever since it came out because stamina is a phenomenal ability on this Pokemon. Has very good synergy with its move Body Press. Base 85 speed is decent. I'm not going to say it's, you know, going to be ran offensively, and I don't know that my opponents will speed creep it, but it is a nice little speed stat in there just in case. If I do want to run it offensively, I can because it does have base 125 special attack. So if I want to couple that with a little speedy set, it's definitely possible. But this is it's also a pretty fat Pokemon on the physical side. Base 90 HP and 130 defense. 65 special defense is pretty bad, but I could easily just run an Assault Vest on this Pokemon. It's a great Assault Vest Pokemon because it has a lot of good attacking moves. If I don't want to run Assault Vest, I could easily rock out with like a Stealth Rock plus Thunder Wave kind of thing. Thunder Wave to slow things down into an Electro Shot could be pretty fun. And of course I do get Iron Defense because it's a bridge and it needs to be Iron Defensed, I guess. So Iron Defense plus Body Press plus Stamina. Those moves are going to be hitting really hard. Next up, I got Appleton. Bad Apple. The Appleton. Appleton for 4 points is great. I think it's like a niche bulky Pokemon that can come to some matchups. It gets 3 pretty cool abilities: Ripen, Gluttony, and Thick Fat. Again, I could use the other 2, but Thick Fat is going to be the main ability because it's going to be able to provide a resistance to ice and fire type attacks. So that, coupled with this being a Terra Captain, Terra, Dragon, Fairy, and Water, will be really helpful for just creating, you know, new resistances, I guess. Fairy types are already difficult to break down, but if you're resistant to ice and fire as well, that's going to be really helpful. And again, I do already have a stronger dragon type in Archaludon, but Appleton has a little bit more viability because it is a Terra Captain, so it can change its typing. It's very slow, base 30. That's not really the point. It's got base 110 HP, 80 defense and special defense, 100 special attack. So it's going to hit things decently hard, but mainly it's just lead cheating things, chipping them down, going for recovery. You don't really want to set up too much on this because it does get Apple Acid, which is like a Thunderous Kick, but it's a grass type move and it hits on the special side, lower special defense. So it's not going to be easy to really set up on this because Apple Acid's just going to be a move I'll probably just always throw on this. But besides that, it's just going to help to chip things down with lead cheat. I do get dragon coverage, obviously. I could set up Dracos I could fire off Dracos if I really wanted. Yeah, just a fun little Pokemon here. Again, fun draft. So at this point, I had 8 points left, and I still need a fairy type, and the only real fairy types that were left, I think, were Doshbun and Granbull. And Granbull's cool. It gets Intimidate to lower my opponent's attack stat. At base 120 attack, it hits things pretty hard, man, if I invest in it. The thing is, a lot of people don't invest in Granbull's physical attack because it's a fairy type. You want to use it kind of defensively with its Intimidate. It'll still hit things decently hard with Play Rough, but you do also get Earthquake, which is great. It's kind of like Chandelure, where Energy Ball is great for having to have on a fire type because it deals with its weaknesses. Earthquake is great because it deals with poison, fire, and steel types, all of which want to switch into fairy type attacks. Another Thunder Wave user, another Taunt user, gives me kind of just a little niche Pokemon here. If I really need a fairy type. Close Combat is cool. Fire Punch is cool. Focus Punch, hey, why not? It gets decent coverage. It could be used as a pretty viable Assault Vest user, but I fear that with all the Pokemon I have on this team, Granbull's going to get a little bit lost. Last but not least, Yeti the Crabominable is making an appearance. I'm so excited to use this thing. What's the coolest thing in here? What's the strangest thing in here in this tier that I can just rock out with if I really need to do something? It's Yeti the Crabominable. I'll tell you what, Iron Fist boosted Ice Hammers, Terra Ice. Anything want to switch into that? I didn't think so. I think a lot of people are going to get thrown off by this thing because they're not going to prep for it, and they're going to be like, what is this thing going to do? Now, those are the positives. Base 132 attack stat. The negatives is that it's not very bulky. 43 base speed is really bad. But again, if I use Trick Room Slowking, I can help it out a little bit. So Trick Room into a Chilly Reception, give myself the defense boost as long as I'm still an ice type. And we're good to go. By the way, the Terra types are Ice, Fighting, and Steel. Steel is nice just to be able to hit fairies a little bit harder. I can also set up on those type of Pokemon with Bulk Up. Bulk Up plus Drain Punch could be cool. Knock Off is great, knocking off items. Gunk Shot, Earthquake, Crab Hammer. I mean, I would assume that Crab Hammer gets boosted by Iron Fist if Ice Hammer does, but I'll just have to test that out because I don't actually know. So yeah, that's Crabominable. I don't know how often I'm going to use it, but I guarantee that I will use it at least once. It's cool, all right? I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. It's cool. It's a cool Pokemon. We're going to move on. So that is going to be the draft. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video, a little draft analysis, a little breakdown. I'm going to put this up Tuesday. This is like my third time recording this, which kind of sucks. So let me know in the comment section what do you think about my team. I will reply no matter what you say. You could say you hate it, you can say you love it, whatever. I'm very excited to rock out with this team. I think it's super creative, it's super fun, and you know, we're gonna have fun. That's the goal. Like I said, it's gonna be chill. As far as uploads, in the week 1, I'll probably put up like Thursday, so like 2 days after the draft analysis, because at this point I'm a week behind. To be honest with you, we were so far ahead, and now I'm behind because I just put it on the back burner for so long. So after that, it should be every Thursday as far as the uploads, because again, I have autonomy as far as when to upload it because it's not upload required, so I can do it whenever I want. With all that being said, that's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, that would be appreciated, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see how we do with this team. Again, uploads every week along with the JJDL every Sunday. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.